What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Down the Line podcast. I'm Nick, and I'm joined by my good boy Ethan here. What's going on?
What's up?
It's it's been it's been a solid week of baseball. We're not devoid of any fun things to talk about. I mean, fucking we had Schwarber go
That's for
off
sure.
for the big 4 home runs. Mark Teixeira's running for Congress. Which was
Yeah,
the
that's
most,
a headline you would see out of the park when the guy retires.
that was genuinely that had to be the most
That's the biggest baseball news ever, maybe. I don't know.
that caught me so off guard. I was like, what? I saw the Twitter
Yeah,
notification. I was like,
good
what?
for him. I haven't looked at his policies or anything, so I'm not gonna campaign for him. But
I
good
saw
for
that
him
and I was like,
for going out
I
there.
saw that and I was like, what the hell? um. So yeah, man, you DM'd me something yesterday that you wanted to talk about. I don't even remember what you said, but you DM'd me something last night. What did you say? You said,
Oh yeah, it was the the Jays blockbuster move.
"Hey, man, why don't you introduce us in? What you talking about?"
So the Blue Jays win the Eloy Jimenez sweepstakes. Sweepstakes, a very interesting way of putting it.
Yo.
But no, all jokes aside, cool to see, Eloy Jimenez, I always liked him, and, obviously we know what he's able to do, so not really any high expectations, but just, it was cool to see.
Yeah, we have the what was it? I saw the tweet earlier. I can't remember what it
The
was.
first, third, and 11th prospect
those are
according
the
to
numbers.
Pipeline in 2019.
20. Hey, listen, man, we're building 6 years ago. We would have had ridiculous future. Like, it actually would have just been ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. We've seen...
I mean, if we get 2019 Eloy, I mean, that's a 30 home run like
or,
that.
Or listen, if we get 2020 or 2021 Eloy, whatever year it was, we can have a little funeral for him on the field.
Yeah, put his jersey up in the dugout with the signatures and the
With,
gloves.
with the wreath and everything on it. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Dude,
that was such a funny time. Like obviously it sucks seeing, one of your young good players get hurt and go down, but they were acting like it was like a memorial service.
That was so funny. I actually could not. Dude, I remember how much that was getting memed when it was actually
like if you showed
happening.
A non-baseball fan, they would have thought the guy died.
Like, it's actually so stupid because what is going on? Like, what was it? It was like an Achilles or an ACL or something, or I don't remember what it was. It was some lower. I know it kept him out for the season, or like a lot of a very long period of time. But even so, man,
I thought it was like
funny.
It was like a ankle thing, maybe.
It might have been. I don't actually remember what it was, to be honest. But
I mean, who knows? It's just. Yeah,
I'm surprised he's already on minor league.
I'm
surprised he's already on minor league deals, to be totally honest, because aside from last year, he's always been at least some degree of an above league average hitter. His career WRC plus is above average. It's 112, albeit he's only a 4 win player for his career. I'm surprised he's already getting minor league deals. I'm surprised
that's
a team
the thing. I mean,
a bad team isn't taking a shot on him. You know what I mean?
Tampa Bay did have him in their system this year, and he was a bit below average offensively in terms of WRC plus. So obviously, there was no room for him there. So it was kind of, let's see what he can do in a different system maybe.
Man, I remember
but
when the Orioles traded for him last year, around the deadline, and it was yeah, okay. It's like the LeBron gift where he's the fake. Oh, shiver me timbers ass fucking trade right there.
I mean, he's still relatively young. Like, it's not fair to say his career's over.
He's only 27.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely.
He's 28. Sorry,
I'm not saying it's gonna be with the Blue Jays, but I don't know. Point is, if he wasn't a Blue Jay, we wouldn't be talking about him. That's the funny part.
I just think it's.
But we had to.
I think it's funny. You know something that we might have done a little too soon when we were talking about certain prospects getting promoted and this and that. We did that episode too early because we've been seeing a lot of guys actually get promoted recently. Obviously,
Yeah, Jonah Tong making his debut as we speak, the Canadian.
You said he 3 up, 3 down. His first inning was 6 pitches. pitches.
Yeah, six pitches as we're recording this for the first inning.
Yeah, dude. Hey, man, shout out to him. And they were promoting some other higher level prospects in their system. Like Jet Williams got a promotion to AAA like around the time that we recorded that in our episode.
Spencer Jones going head to head right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the two New York top prospects basically.
Yeah, teams are really getting geared up for September, man. September, it's the 29th right now. It's the Friday. September is in a whole 3 days. That's when call-ups, the 28-man roster started to come in. You remember when it was 40 people on the roster in September? You remember that?
Yeah.
Dude, that was ridiculous.
You know who else debuted? That's a fun one.
Let's hear it.
Zach Maxwell. Have you seen him?
Why don't you tell everyone about some Zach Maxwell? Big Sugar.
Have you seen him?
Why don't you enlighten everyone?
I'm asking, have you seen him at all? Like a picture of him, or just like you see him pitch?
I haven't actually seen him pitch, but like
he is 6'6", 275, a big boy.
He's a big man.
He is Big Sugar. What a nickname! I mean,
he's a big man.
It doesn't get too much better than Big Sugar.
Big Shug, man.
I mean, we've seen some really good nicknames get called up. We saw the password for the Red Sox.
Oh yeah, man, I remember that one. The password. I was so confused because I can't remember who said it. I don't know if it was you or if it was somebody else, but the password.
I think it was me. Yeah,
it probably was you. It's like the password. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? The password? And I see it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, never mind. I look at his name again, and I'm like, never mind. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it now.
I mean.
Yeah.
We have some good nicknames in baseball. There's definitely not a shortage of those.
Yeah, we do, man. But yeah, like, you know what? Or not Noah. Jonah Tong. He was the Mets' fourth ranked prospect. Shout out to him. Another one that just got promoted over in Boston is lefty Peyton Toll. I'm gonna say Toll. They also released Walker Buehler, or I don't know if they released him, if it was a DFA. Yeah, they released him.
They did.
Yeah, that the Walker Buehler thing didn't go very well. And you know what's crazy to me is Walker Buehler, like, you know, obviously he had the injury, he had the surgery, and obviously he was never the same after that. He had one World Series start last year that everyone was like, "Oh, guys, he's gonna get this big contract in the offseason." I was like, "What are you guys talking about?"
Yeah.
Did the rest of the season that he pitched not happen, and then he gets the 1 year when he got $20 million or $21 million in the offseason? I was flabbergasted. I was like,
I mean, if he doesn't have that, if he doesn't have that outing, that doesn't happen. That's
he literally gets like he gets $5 million tops if he doesn't have that outing.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy. I remember seeing that news break, and I was like, what are you, $20 million? I understand it's a 1 year deal, so it's relatively risk free, but like, $21 million? Dude,
he was so good.
Like 2019, ago. Like, man, that guy was different, man.
2021, he had like a 7-WAR season. It was unbelievable.
That was ridiculous, man.
Another call up. Carson Williams for the Rays.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's true. I saw that one too. That's gonna. Yeah, these teams are gearing up for October, man. Obviously, you rely on like a lot of depth. Maybe
he homered in his debut too.
Hey, shout out to
Carson Williams.
Shout out to him, man. I think we're gonna see a lot.
This is
more
the time where
we're
seeing,
we're seeing teams really start to rely on their depth and such to try to propel them to the either keep them in a playoff race, or propel them kind of a little bit into the race, or give them the leg up on a team that's maybe a little bit behind them, or what have you, right? But hey, man, it's good to see. Good to see these guys getting their shot. We'll see what September brings for them. Some of them, I'm sure, will light the world up. We'll see. And listen, for everyone out there, just because someone struggles in their first little month or whatever the season, it's okay, right? Not everyone has to hit the ground running. If someone struggles for a little bit, it's okay. All right, not everyone's gonna be Pedro Martinez or Barry Bonds right out of the gate. It's okay. It happens. Sometimes it takes a minute. Sometimes the first little bit's a little rough. Maybe next year will be better, or maybe they'll just hit the ground running, and then this whole little monologue will be pointless. But hey, man, shout out to everyone. Shout out to all the prospects that are getting their shot, man. So another thing that happened, another 4 home run game, Kyle Schwarber, and we had the whole episode not too long ago where we were glazing
I believe the 21st player in that 4 home run club, and it's the third
one
one.
this season.
That's pretty crazy. There has been, before this season, there's been 0 4 home run games since 2017 when both Scooter Gennett and JD Martinez did it.
Yep, and that was 3.
And now there's 3.
Because it was Suarez in like April or May or something. It was Kurtz not too long ago, and now Schwarber, right?
And Kurtz with his 19 total bases to tie Sean Green's record.
Yep.
And then Kyle Schwarber, who had a chance at 5 against Vidal Brujan, a position player.
And he hit the pop-up. I saw that. I was like, man.
And it's crazy because there was like a tag up, and like there's an alternate universe out there in which Schwarber hits a home run to hit a record 5th in a game, the first ever home run cycle, and 50th of the season, all with the same swing. There is an alternate universe out there where that happens.
That would have been the most ridiculous headline ever. Like how would you? Okay, hold on. If you were, how would you? I don't even know how I would fit that all into a headline, because it's home run cycle, 50th home run, and record-setting 5th home run in a game. I don't know how I would fit that into a headline. That's 3 major things that like need to be.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I think the 50th home run is by far the least important of the 3, just because like the home run cycle and 5 home runs both have never happened before, so that right there gives the other 2 priority. I'd probably say Kyle Schwarber hits 5 home runs, hits for home run cycle, with his 50th home run of the season or something like that.
Hey man, shout out to Schwarber. That's the guy right there. He's 1 back right now of Raleigh for the MLB lead. Also, I saw this thread on Twitter the other day, and it was like Raleigh hasn't been like that great his last 30 games or whatever, 15 games, 30 games, whatever it was. And I saw someone post, oh, well, look at his launch angle. He's selling out for home runs. And I'm like, are you guys serious right now? Are we really doing
Is that a bad thing?
Yeah, that's like, and I'm like, this is, I don't know where we've been. Like, Kyle Raleigh's always been a low average, high power guy. Obviously, this year it's just like a new level. But like, where have we been that we're waiting until he has a record 50 home runs for a catcher, by the way. No catcher has ever hit 50 before. All right? First catcher to ever hit 50. And listen, he might hit 60. He has a shot at 60, all right? That makes him the first catcher to ever hit 60. All right? Why are we complaining that he's selling out for power? Is that not...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The goal in baseball is to score more runs than your other team. What better way to score runs than by hitting one over the fence and getting runs? Like, I don't... It's like, in hockey, I see people use arguments saying, like, oh, he's a goal merchant. He only scores goals or whatever. And it's like, isn't that the objective of the sport?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you... Like, if a guy's selling out for home runs, wouldn't that be a good thing? Like, I would want one of my players to be hitting 50 home runs. That sounds like a good thing to me.
If it's
There's not a bad part that's about that.
Obviously, if it's like getting in the way of his overall production, like he's not getting on base, he's not really doing anything else, then obviously that's like, that's different. But like, Raleigh gets on base a good amount. It's not like he has a piss poor average. Like, he's hitting in the 240s. Like, that's fine. That's not far off from league average. Like,
his on base is still 350. Like, you're taking that any day of the week.
Yeah, and like the last couple years, like his career leading up to this year, from 2021 to 2024, he hit 218 with 93 like total home runs and a 111 WRC+.
That's the thing.
He was still above average, but I don't know why we're acting this is new. In fact, it's a career high in average. Like, if we really want to go there.
All of his numbers are going up this year, so how could you say he's selling out for home runs when he's doing everything better, including home runs?
Yeah, I don't really...
That seems like a kind of lazy take to me.
See, because it's like, you have this kind of player, like the polar opposite of him is like Luis Arias, who literally just sells out for contact. And obviously this year it's been really bad because his quality of contact is bad to the point where him selling out so much is actually like a negative. You can, if you want him to sell it for contact, and you know what I mean. If you really want him to do that, and you want him to turn into Luis Arias, and just be an overall like below league average hitter, then I mean go for it, right? Because like,
oh, that reminds me. I saw a funny nickname someone gave to Luis Arias.
What was it?
They called him Phony Gwyn.
Phony Gwyn.
That is one of the greatest nicknames I've ever heard.
Oh my god. Yo, Phony Gwyn is a...
I really
crazy.
hope that sticks. It's just so funny. No disrespect to Rise, obviously. No disrespect, but it's just it's funny.
I really see. Like, I hope that he's able to get it like going to some extent, or like maybe he figures it out next year or something like that. Because like overall this year, like it is not a secret that he just hasn't been good this year. In fact, he's been like bad. Because like even before he was like obviously he was a high contact guy, but he overall didn't really get on base that much. Obviously, with no power, you're not really getting value in terms of like total bases. He's not a good base runner. He's not a good defensive player. Even when he was a second baseman, and then he eventually just started playing first base. Right now, when he is not hitting the ball as well, he is now getting that a lot worse. Right? Like he's a .4 WAR player. Maybe he finishes the season with 1 WAR. Maybe. I see people. I wanna talk about something really quick because I saw this on the timeline yesterday, and I see people talking about like, you know how no one ever shuts up about the whole batting average thing, right? And obviously there's the well, this guy is this batting average and it's not, so he's good, or people just say batting average doesn't matter. It's like I find a lot of people who try to dismiss like more advanced stuff, right? They'll always be like, well, I was told batting average doesn't matter. And it's like, people don't say that batting average means nothing or it's useless or shouldn't exist or this or that, because a lot of statistics are like indirectly informed by average, right? It's like slugging percentage is basically just batting average with bonus points for total bases, or like extra bases, I mean. And then on base percentage is largely like incorporated like average into it, like indirectly. So I don't really understand what all these people are talking about when they say like, people try to say that batting averages matter and this and that. It's like, no one says that. It's just like, it lacks a lot of information in terms of evaluating a hitter, right? Does that make, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm looking at an overall quality of a hitter, I would much rather, like, you know, it just tells you how good they are at actually getting a base hit and not, you know what I mean? Slugging percentage is more informative because it informs you of overall, like, you know, that plus power. You know, what's, you know, their combination of those two things. On base percentage, that plus how much they walk. OPS is a combination of everything. WRC plus is a combination of everything and a little bit more to adjust for league average, park factors, all that stuff. That was out of nowhere. I just had to get it off my chest. I saw that on the timeline the other day, and I was like, man, y'all are stupid, bro. Y'all gotta...
That's the thing. I mean, batting average... Another thing is people think batting average means nothing as well. There's a group that think that batting average is irrelevant, which I don't think it's irrelevant. I just don't think it should be the top evaluator of talent. Because that's the thing. I personally am not going to put all my weight into judging somebody's talent on a stat that weighs singles the same as home runs.
Exactly.
To me, that's not something that... I look at average, and you can look at an average and kind of get an idea of what he does, but that doesn't mean that he's necessarily a good player or not because he has like a 200 average or a 300 like, you could be a below average hitter who hits like, you know, 280 to 300, or you can be a completely well above average hitter and you're hitting 210.
Exactly, like, because like if you just looked at batting average this year, right? Obviously, we were just talking about Arias. You know, we were just actually talking about Arias and Kyle Raleigh. I actually think this is a really good kind of comparison to make, right? You can have a piss poor batting average and you can still be a positive hitter. You remember a few years ago when Schwarber hit like 190 and he still had like a 350, 360 on base, and he hit like almost 50 home runs. He was like a 120, 115, whatever he was.
I think that's a perfect comparison.
And also this year, right? Luis Arias is batting like 40 points higher than Kyle Raleigh or whatever it is, right? Kyle Raleigh's on base is still like 35% higher. His slugging percentage is like, I think it's like 200 points higher. Like, it's just... Batting average on its own is very uninformative because it leaves out a lot of things. That does not mean that there's no situations where you can look at it, right? Let's say, you know, you got a bottom ninth, leading runs on third or second or whatever, I might say, oh shit, bring me the guy with the highest batting average because there's an argument. You know what I mean? There's an argument. I would probably still look at on base percentage because I just don't want to make an out. But there's at least you know what, I can respect that. That makes sense. You know what I mean? It's respectable. But obviously, in a lot of situations, I'm gonna go okay, overall value because hitting is more than just simply getting a base hit, right? Like, I would much rather someone hit a double or a homer than a single. Not to say a single's bad, but the other ones are better. And if you can do the other ones more, then fuck, I would rather you at the plate over the span of 162, right? That would be a lot more beneficial in terms of scoring runs and everything like that, right? I don't know, man. It's just, it's a thing I think people need to, really, really, really kind of lock the fuck in on, but I don't know if people are quite tapped in enough. It's like when people, I swear, some of the former players who do this kind of bit are so annoying. The whole A-Rod small ball gimmick that he does is so annoying. He's like, squaring up and just doing this and that. I'm like, you were not doing any of this. You hit almost 700 home runs. Stop.
The thing is, what works for one player isn't going to automatically work for another.
That as well, right?
Everyone has a different hitting profile. It's not like because it worked for a Hall of Famer. It's even hypothetically. I'm not saying that, like you said, he's not really he's not teaching what he did, but it's kind of just because it worked for a Hall of Famer doesn't mean it's going to work for me. I got to find what's right for me type of thing.
Exactly. And some guys find a really a high degree of success from spraying the ball everywhere and just getting a bunch of singles or splitting gaps or whatever. Some guys really make their money by getting the ball in the air a lot and hitting a lot of pull sides. Some people, you know what I mean? Whatever it is. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Some people really make their money by forcing pitchers to pitch to them, and then if you don't throw it in the zone, I'm just not going to swing, and then they just take a million walks that way, right? Like we've seen, and obviously they do other stuff too, but I hate when it's like, oh, they have to do this. It's not necessarily they got to do this or whatever, right? Because again, not everything works for everyone. There are a large there's a lot of different ways that you can hit the baseball. If you try to go with one approach consistently across every single hitter, a lot of them are going to struggle. A lot of them are going to succeed. Some of them are going to succeed more than they would have otherwise. Some of them are going to fail more than they would have otherwise. It's just going to happen. And I think it's kind of fucking stupid. Another thing I want to talk about, actually, I didn't put this in our little notes, but we've seen, a lot of, big players go down with season-ending injuries lately. And it's kind of crazy. Just yesterday, Seager underwent surgery. Obviously, not too long ago, Zach Wheeler went down with a blood clot. I think it was before we recorded last week's episode. I think
sucks.
Nathan Eovaldi is down for the rest of the year.
We talked about it. We were talking about we were talking about the Cy Young stuff, and I had to campaign for Wheeler winning it, and I was talking. Yeah,
that's right. I forgot. Yeah, we mentioned it there, and we talked about Tariq Schoolball's on a Smurf account. He's a Randy Johnson Smurf right there. Yeah, we've seen a lot of them lately, and a lot of them are big ones too, right? Man, listen, my heart goes out right now to Rangers fans because y'all really have it bad. Y'all really have it bad right now. They went on a streak right before the deadline. They got Merrill Kelly, this and that, whatever. And then Nathan Eovaldi, who, if he was healthy overall, he would have been one of the Cy Young finalists, probably, if you match up his innings to whoever else, Schoolball, Crochet. And then you lose Seager, who was really on a hot streak in the second half. That's tough. That's fucking tough, man. Rangers fans, my heart goes out to you. Phillies fans, my heart also goes out to you because you just lost a Cy Young candidate. Luckily, they have other guys who can fill in that role a little bit. It's not like their rotation is short of great pitchers. Christopher Sanchez has been great. Ranger Suarez has been great. Jesus Luzardo has been good too.
And as we're recording, there's actually another potential season-ending injury, and this one is not just this season; could be next season.
Who are you talking about?
The Giants closer Randy Rodriguez is recommended to undergo Tommy John surgery.
Oh shit! I didn't see that. When did that get
That
reported?
that hurts. 7:29 p.m. by Underdog MLB is where I'm seeing it.
Oh, so that was like 20 minutes ago. No, that was after we started recording.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
That's tough. That's tough, man. It sucks, obviously.
Hate to see injuries like that.
It sucks, man. That's really unfortunate, especially when you get those big time injuries for like this late in the year, because a lot of them are going to be like, if he underwent that Tommy John, he's going to be out next year too, probably. Like the entirety of next year, there's no comeback, whatever. That sucks. That's tough.
Yeah, and I mean that's a guy who really kind of blossomed this year, kind of turned into, I don't want to say elite because it's still so young into his career, but this year he has been objectively elite.
He's been damn good.
So, yeah, it's just that sucks, and hopefully that doesn't kind of start a downfall of any sorts, and he's able to recover for if he even goes through with the surgery.
Yeah.
Because I don't know the extent. That's the first thing I saw. For all we know, it's just he's getting a second opinion. He might not need it, but whatever it is, I hope that it's a speedy recovery. Everything goes smoothly.
Hopefully
sucks to see guys go down.
they go on the Brandon Woodruff trajectory, because he's been good this year. He's been really good.
Yeah.
After coming back, obviously, Brandon Woodruff trajectory, not the setback part of it, because he had like 80 setbacks in his rehab this year. I picked him up. I remember I picked him up in fantasy at the start of the year and stashed him on the IL, and he got like, I kept checking. It's like, all right, he's gonna start his rehab. Oh, never mind. He has setback. He had another setback. He had another setback. He had another setback. I was like, man. Actually, I dropped him because I had to make room in my IL for other people. But hey, shout out to Woodruff, man. There have been some other ones. We were talking about Jimmy Garcia before we got on the pod. He had surgery. He's done. So that's kind of tough. Bogarts actually went on the IL today with a foot fracture. Ouch. That's
Santander though. That's some good news.
Hey man, least. Tony Taters, we're waiting.
Please save me. Please let me.
We are waiting for you, buddy. We are absolutely waiting for you, my boy. We will be here. We will be there. So
come back, go on a little quick heater, get his OPS up to 600. Let me tweet, and then we win a World Series.
Hey man, we need that. We need that in the streets need that. The streets really do need that. So I want to talk about the main thing that we really want to get into in this episode, right? So obviously, playoff races are really heating up. I feel like I say this every single week, but playoff races are really heating up. September's in a couple days. We're almost to September call-ups. It's the really late part of the season, right? Races are going to be won and lost pretty soon. And in some cases,
feels
every
like more now.
Every game is so much more.
Every pitch matters.
So it feels like they matter so much more than they have for the rest of the season, right? Yep. And with that, the performance of each individual player is going to have a much larger spotlight on them. And I'm not just talking about the stars or the guys in the end of the bench. I'm talking every single person on those 26, in a few days, 28-man rosters, right? So what we're going to do is, me and Ethan, we are going to go through every single team that is in a playoff race, or like, in a spot, or maybe just outside, just on the outside peeking in or whatever. And we're going to pick one X factor from each team. What's someone who could absolutely make or break their team's chances in a race? Now, in some cases, it'll be whether or not their team wins the division or makes a wild card. In some cases, it'll be whether or not their team makes the playoffs or not. Right? So there's varying levels of how much a team can fall down. But we're gonna pick one X factor from each team that really could just have them really cruise through September, or maybe not cruise, but help them really lock it up, or help them fall out. We're gonna find we're gonna find one for each team. We're gonna start in the AL. I feel like we always start in the NL for things. I don't know. We're gonna start in the AL. We're gonna go at the top. We're gonna go best record in the AL. I actually didn't plan for this. It's Toronto. I have an idea of one that I want to say. I want to hear who you got to say first. I wonder if we're going to say the same guy.
What team did you say? Sorry.
I said Toronto. We're starting in the AL. We're going to go.
Oh, we're starting with Toronto?
We're starting in the AL. We're going to go division leaders,
all
then
right,
we're going to go wild card, and then Maybe we'll do like a team or two out.
Yeah. So for the Blue Jays, I'm gonna say it's obvious. Like this one is a kind of obvious one. I'm gonna say it's Vlad because obviously he hasn't been bad by any means. I'm not saying that Vlad struggled, but we could see a little bit more of a power jump maybe, and I think that the stability of this lineup kind of runs through him. I mean, we've seen guys step up on this team. It's not like he's the only player because we've seen some really good seasons from a lot of players. Springer is one of the best players of baseball this year. Davis Schneider, since getting called back up, has been unbelievable. Bichette's having a great year. Varsho, when he's been healthy, he's had a great year. But I just think the team runs through Vlad. Vlad needs to be that guy. And again, I'm not saying he hasn't been, but definitely could use some more home runs from him. Maybe I could see a hot streak coming soon down this little stretch. And I would probably say he's the X factor. But another one is probably going to be a guy like. Honestly, I don't want to single out a certain guy in the rotation, but I'm gonna say there are a bunch of guys in the rotation that could be an X factor. I'm gonna, if I had to choose one, I'm gonna say Barrios.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could
Barrios
either
definitely
you could
turn
see
around.
him because he, depending on the game, he'll look like two completely different pitchers, right? He's either getting
Yeah,
a bunch of weak contact or he's going right at guys, whatever, and he's going through 7, one hit, like one
or he's
run,
throwing
like,
hangers that get hit 450
or he's
feet.
getting shelled and he's getting pulled in the third, fourth inning. Like it's one or the other. It doesn't
Yeah,
feel like there's just no K outing from him. He's either getting shelled or like nobody's hitting him. My pick was he's actually batting right now. It's Addison Barger. That's my pick
yeah,
right now because obviously he bursted onto the scene this season. He kind of struggled last year, and he was doing so many good things when he was hot. When he was really hot this season, he had his WRC plus at one point was like 130. It was almost like 140 at one point. He was hitting the ball really hard. He was pulling the ball. The only thing that was a little bit concerning was that his strikeout, walk, and chase numbers were kind of middling. All of those have gotten worse, and it has went from him being like an all-star level hitter, like for example, a 140 WRC plus in July, 111 WRC plus in June, 142 WRC plus in May. That's amazing. He's at a 55 WRC plus in the month of August. He is really
yeah. And
chasing.
it's 83 in the second half, and like
Mm-hmm.
it was looking like he was going to be a guy who is having a legitimate breakout. And I'm not going to say like superstar player, but he was looking like a guy that if this is what he is, would be an all-star a couple of
Mm-hmm.
years, and
Mm-hmm.
he would be setting himself stuff. And that obviously that's not. I'm not saying that he played his way out of that potential in a month,
Oh no,
but
absolutely not.
he's got to kind of right the ship, get back on track, and just crush baseballs like he was doing the first
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that
4 months of the
you've seen
season.
him chase a lot more, and this is not someone with like an elite contact tool. Now, what that has caused, it has caused his, it's caused a lot more weak contact, right? If he's swinging at a pitch that breaks a little bit out of the zone, he's not gonna hammer it, pull it down the line or something like that. It's hitting a little weaker or what have you, right? That is why a lot of his numbers now look a lot worse than they did 2 months ago or a month and a half ago, right? So that's someone, if he can get it going, because keep in mind, if he gets it going, that is a lefty bat at the top of your lineup, which is, it makes your lineup so much more dynamic, right? Because that's someone who can hit for power. He was hitting pretty okay for contact. He wasn't like just pulling the ball either, or at least it didn't feel like it. I don't actually know what the data would suggest on that, but actually, he actually almost has a 44% pull rate in the season. But yeah, if he can figure that out, if he can figure it out in September, really get hot, that is something that I think can really give this lineup such a massive boost. Or it can really get you scratching your head saying, is he really the number 2 hitter on this team if he keeps performing the way he's been hitting in August? Now, obviously, that's my guy. That is my guy. So I really hope that he gets it going, but that's something where, there's things to work out right there. So that's who I am going to pick out for my X Factor for the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, my next player, or sorry, not my next player. For the next team, we are going to go over to the AL Central. These guys are leading that division over there. We're going to the Detroit Tigers, all right? And there's an interesting case to be made for a few guys here. The main one that I am really looking at is, it is Mr. Gleyber Torres. Now, this is another one that is really interesting because obviously, like, he was an all-star. He was so good in the first half. He was looking like a completely different player than what we had seen in New York. And to be honest, I think Yankees fans kind of gave him a little bit too much flack, to an extent. But he was performing so good. Like, through June, I think he had like a 130, 140 something WRC plus. He was okay in July, and this is another player who has really struggled in August. He's hitting below the Mendoza line. He's hitting 190. OPS is at 631. He has an 82 WRC plus in August. He's striking out more, albeit he is walking a lot more. It's his second highest walk rate this season to any individual month. Overall in the second half, an 84 WRC plus. That's another guy that I think could completely make or break like their race and even potentially their postseason. Like, that would have such a big swing. If you're getting first half Gleyber Torres, where he's hitting at a 130 WRC plus, I think that changes things so much, as opposed to if you are getting second half Gleyber Torres, right? Overall in the second half, his walk rate is down about 2%. His strikeout rate is up nearly 6%. He's hitting for a little bit less power. He's overall, because he's striking out more and walking less, he's not getting on base as much. His overall quality of contact hasn't been quite as good. His BABIP isn't as good either. His BABIP is down like almost 70 points. I think it's just over that. So that is who I would probably pick out for the Tigers if I had to pick out an X factor for them. What do you got? If you had to pick a name?
I think it's Spencer Torkelson. First overall pick about 5 years ago, I think 2020, right? He's been having a very, very good year, no doubt. He is sitting at 28 home runs on the season. Definitely having a very good year. What I'm looking at right now is the second half, he hasn't been as good as the first half. The first half, he had a WRC plus 125, second half 114. Still good. Still very good, no doubt. But if he can kind of go back to what we were seeing from him earlier in the year, we saw him go through stretches where he was just hitting so many home runs. Like, I think in the first month of the season, he hit 8, and then in May, he hit 6, and then in June, he really struggled. July, he kind of got back, and he's trying to find his footing again from what he was in the first half of the season. If he can get back to what he was doing in the first 2 months of the season, that right there is just a huge boost to that lineup, getting another guy who can just mash. And I think that, I don't know, again, he's been good, but I think that he can even elevate his game even more. And we've seen it this year.
Yeah, man, he was one of the top first basemen overall in the first half of the season. There was like a debate that he probably should have made the All-Star game. Around that time, I remember.
I think he should.
I remember really like debating if I would have put him on a ballot or not. Ultimately, my pick for the starter would have been Aranda at that time, but I remember really going back and forth between. I remember going really back and forth on those two. I really had no idea. I was like, "Damn, do I go? Is it Torkelson or is it Aranda or who knows?" Right? But yeah, that's another one because that adds so much power to that lineup. Like, it's completely different of a thing, right? So. Yeah, Torres and Torkelson, those are some pretty solid picks, I think. We're gonna go to Houston. Do you got to pick? What's your? If you had to pick one for Houston, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna go with a guy that got at the deadline. I'm gonna go Carlos Correa.
Very
good.
I had the exact same thought process, and here's my reasoning for it. Right. So obviously we remember when they got him, he was like he goes there, and for the first week he's like prime Barry Bonds, right? He's Bonds, he's Ted Williams, whatever the hell you want to say. You've seen like 400 over the first week he's been there, right? From August 1st through August 15th, he had a 157 WRC plus. He had an OPS over 900. He was slugging. He had a slash line of 340, 404, 511. He was ridiculous.
Looked fully healthy.
But since then, he's tailored off a little bit. Now, he hasn't been bad. The past 2 weeks, since the 15th until now, which is the 29th now, I don't know what he's done today, because this isn't really factored in. This doesn't really change what I'm saying that much. He's been like more or less like a league average hitter. Now, is that a bad thing? Not really.
Not at all.
Mostly what's happened in the past couple weeks is he just hasn't really been hitting for power. He's actually still hitting at a pretty solid rate. He's still getting on base. He's hitting 280. Has a on-base percentage of 345 over that span. Past couple weeks, he just has an 080 ISO, and that's why his OPS is barely over 700 in that point. He really just needs to get the power back on track, and like this Houston lineup will be looking absolutely ridiculous, because if you get a non-power hitting Carlos Correa, it's going to be looking pretty grim, right? And here's the thing. With Minnesota this season, I remember, when we were doing that deadline episode, and you remember when Trey was like, we didn't get any prospects for Correa. One of the big things was like, with Minnesota, especially this season, is that he just wasn't hitting, right? He was just under league average with Minnesota during his stint with them this season. Like that first half, he had a 97 WRC plus over 93 games, 364 plate appearances. And a lot of that, again, was he wasn't really hitting for power. He had a 119 ISO. So what I'm getting at is, it's not like it's a crazy thing that Correa isn't hitting for power, because for the first half of the season, he just wasn't hitting for power at all. Even, I wouldn't be surprised if he has like a 100 to 120 ISO for the rest of September. Now, if he's getting on base enough, it doesn't really matter, right? If he's getting on base 350 OBP, then it's fine. It really doesn't matter all that much. But if he's hitting at a rate, let's say he really hits a slump in September, even just a little bit more of a slump, I wouldn't call what he's currently in a slump. Let's say his batting average goes down to like 260. You factor in his OBP, probably goes down to 320. His slugging goes down even further, and you're looking at an overall below average hitter, because he's not going to contribute any power. If he can contribute a little bit more power, now the Crawford boxes might help that a little bit. But if you can contribute a little bit more power, it's just going to help a whole lot. That's just a big difference that I noticed between his start with Houston at the right at the deadline and the last couple weeks. I think that's something that would have just a really big ripple effect on the rest of the lineup too. That kind of thing.
And I mean, another thing with Correa is we know what he can do in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
We know very, very well. We've witnessed what he can do. He can change not just a series, but an entire playoff. He can change a team's entire season with a couple of at-bats. So that's another thing. If he can continue what he's done in the postseason, not even just for the Astros, he had a very good postseason for the Twins in 2023. If he can just continue to be doing what he's doing in those situations, and those, when the games get tougher, he shows up. If he just continues that, that's why I think he's an X factor, because he's plays in these high situation games before for this very team. And if he can come back like nothing, like he never left, then Astros are in a very good position to do some damage.
Yeah, man. Especially because they needed they especially need production from him, or from somewhere, right? Because obviously Isaac Paredes went down with the injury, and he's not playing for the rest of the season. So they kind of need to fill some sort of hole, right? So if that comes from a guy like Correa, that would be kind of massive. You know what I mean?
It would.
Something like that would be absolutely massive if they could get that kind of production, really make up for the Paredes thing. It would be huge. That would be absolutely massive.
100%. I think that another guy that could be an X factor for the team is Christian Walker, just because he hits home runs at a very high rate. He's definitely, I would say, a very good power hitter. He's a guy who hits 30 plus a year. He's hit 21 this year. He's definitely doing his job in terms of home runs. Could see the production overall be a bit better. But I mean, he has been very, very good in as a power bat, like just as a pure home run hitter. So if we could see him get on base a little more, maybe improve his numbers, that can really help the team as well. Especially because since the second half he's heated up. His first half WRC plus 83,
yeah,
second
he was
half 136.
awful to start the year.
He is definitely playing good baseball right now, and if he can just continue that, not even at that rate, he doesn't need to play at a 136 WRC plus rate the rest of the way. Obviously, the Astros would love that. If he just kind of plays at about 115, 120, I'm sure any Astros fan would tell you they're ecstatic with that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Especially because they're in like a pretty close race too with the Mariners. I don't know exactly what the gap is right now.
Yeah, the Mariners are two back right now.
Not too long ago they were tied. So, and even then, like there's always a chance the Rangers could get hot and be right on their tail, right? But that's a little
for sure. Yeah.
Obviously, they're more concerned about Seattle, but still. So next we are going to go to the Yankees. They hold the current top wild card spot in the AL. Sorry, no, they don't. They are second to the Red Sox, but you know what? I don't care. We're gonna go with the Yankees anyways. They've been playing some good ball lately. They've won 5 in a row. They're currently up on the White Sox right now in the top of the second. They're up 1-0. My X factor. This is such an interesting one. And on one hand, I kind of love that this player is like doing well. On the other hand, I kind of hate it because he's in my division. He's for the Yankees. Giancarlo Stanton. This guy's having like a really weird like resurgence.
That was my pick too.
This guy, yeah, it's like such a weird like resurgence. I remember looking at this and I almost actually wrote an article on like how good he's been, albeit obviously he missed a lot of time with an injury. He missed a lot of time with an injury, and then obviously so therefore his overall sample for the season isn't quite as high as like an Aaron Judge or Bellinger or whoever else on the team.
Yeah.
But he has been in a little bit of time he's been in there, he has been so good. If I remember correctly, when he first got back from his injury,
he was elite in the playoffs last year, by the way.
He's always been elite in the playoffs.
That's another thing.
That's the other thing.
But I'm saying, like, even with his struggles kind of with the injuries and just kind of not being, I'm not saying he's been bad with the Yankees, but obviously when he went to the Yankees and the past couple of years, getting up there in age, his body's kind of wearing out a little. But come playoff time, he hit 7 home runs. He literally looked like his Miami self. He looked like he did back in Miami in the mid 2010s when he was hitting 50 plus home runs.
I remember.
Like, I remember. If we could just see any of this.
I remember early on in that tenure when people were kind of shitting on him in like his first year with the Yankees, even though it was like he was like
still a very good year.
Dude, he was so good in his first year with them. He had like a 130 WRC plus, almost at 40 home runs. People were.
It's just that's the pressure that comes with playing for the Yankees, because if you're not hitting 50 home runs, if you're you know what I mean, he was coming off a year in which he hit 59. They thought maybe, people would think, oh, he didn't hit 50, he didn't hit 60, he's a bust, not worth it. And like, you can't just expect a guy to hit 59 home runs every year.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. And like, the thing with Stan's like numbers this year's profile is like it's not just he's just like, oh, on a hot streak or whatever. He's doing a lot of things better. And a lot of things that lead me to believe, like, he can probably keep this up, right? He's hitting the ball harder. He's, obviously he's getting more barrels. That's all great, right? He's pulling the ball a little bit more. He's hitting a lot less balls on the ground. His ground ball rate is down 6% from last year. Overall, this season, he's running the lowest ground ball rate that he has, since StatCast started tracking it. His line drive rate is the highest it's been since 2020 and 2019.
That he has in a little bit.
Yeah, this is his highest walk rate since
it just seems like he has a better approach overall at the plate.
He's swinging a lot less. He's chasing a lot. He's chasing less too. That's the other thing. This is the lowest chase rate he's ran since 2020. If you want to do full seasons, it's his lowest chase rate since 2017. And you know what he did in 2017?
I think that's when he hit 59 home
He hit
runs. So,
59 home runs.
I think you're taking that.
That is correct. He hit 59 home runs that year. He's overall swinging less. Like, he's even swinging less at meatballs. He's swinging so much less at everything. This is the lowest swing rate he's ran in years, right? He's overall a lot more patient. He's not swinging at as many first pitches. Also, another thing, he's not making as much contact when he chases. Like, his chase contact percentage last year was 48%. This year it's 38.5%. You know, I remember we were talking about this one time when we were talking about, like, how the Jays have really elevated their offense and how they've kind of stopped the whole sellout for contact thing. If you swing at that slider just out of the zone and you make contact, it's probably a weak dribbler, right? But if you whiff on it, okay, it's 0-1 or it's 1-1, 1-2, whatever it is. Now you get another shot at one, right? I think that's kind of what's happening here. Yeah. Is you're avoiding a lot of those weak grounders and stuff like that, those weak pop-ups, those whatever, right? A lot of those really weakly hit balls, and you're exchanging it for more solid contact, which is over the span of a season going to lead to a lot more solid results, which is what is happening for Stanton right now. Now, obviously, he's only played, I think, like 50 games. What is it, 50 games? My Fangraphs tab wants to load 52 games, 187 plate appearances. A slump could very well come in September. I'm not saying it won't, but he could also very well just remain hot because he's doing a lot of things properly in terms of, like, process. It's not like he's swinging at a bunch of garbage and he's just happening to get good results. No, he's doing everything really well, right? There is nothing here that leads me to believe that he's just going to go in a slump.
And it's not like a 366 BABIP and a 305 average is sustainable for him. We're not saying he's going to finish the season with a 310 average, but the thing is, he's put himself in a position where he's able to falter off a bit hitting for average. And again, here's where average kind of I don't want to say becomes irrelevant, but doesn't matter so much. He can risk, just hitting singles, hitting whatever, and continuing hitting for power and still keep the overall stats of, WRC plus, his hard hit rates, all that can stay the same with his average going down. That's fine. There's a lot of room for him to drop that. And I'm not saying he should. Obviously, if you can get the average up there, you do.
Oh, absolutely.
But he's able to kind of go on a little cold streak while still being able to produce, because the numbers that are sustainable have that, are there. The numbers that are the stats that are sustainable, the stats that we've seen consistent from him throughout his career, they're there right now. So that's another thing. It's not like he's only good because he's getting lucky and it's because it's an unsustainable pace. He's good because he's channeling his power. He's doing everything that made him one of the best hitters in baseball for so many years.
Absolutely, man. And this is his batted ball distribution is so much better. Just the amount of more balls he's hitting in the air, just how much less he's hitting on the ground, especially less ground balls for him because he is so slow. Some of the videos that get posted of him trying to
the last thing you want to do is have him get hurt trying to beat out a ground ball.
That as well. I would much rather, he just rips gaps. And I mean, it's not like that's hard for him to do. He's Giancarlo Stanton. The guy's a menace to society. Also, another small thing I forgot to mention, he's hitting a few less pop-ups this year, which is really good. It's not a drastic amount. It's less than 1% less, but I think it's about half a percentage point down. But still, that's really good. Shout out to him, though. Shout out to him. He's having a really good stretch right now. That's my pick. I think you said that was your pick, too, for X Factor. Because imagine this kind of lineup they're running right now. Obviously, they have Judge. They have Bellinger, right? You throw Stanton on top of that. Obviously, you have, Ben Rice in there, too, who's really good. They have guys who have...
Aaron Judge. This one.
Jazz, not Judge. They have guys who have also,
I think Judge.
Yeah, well, I said, I meant Jazz. I already said Judge, but they've also have some guys who have, tapered off a little bit. Remember when Paul Goldschmidt was, one of the best hitters in baseball for the first little bit of the season, and he's really tapered off.
Yeah, but, at this point in his career, what he's doing now is still fine. They didn't get Paul Goldschmidt to expect him to be an MVP.
Well, but what I'm getting at here is...
I
a lot of that stuff, if Stanton is... Because earlier in the season when Stanton either wasn't there or the first little bit when he came off the IL, he was looking kind of rough. something like Paul Goldschmidt really tapering off, that hurt them a lot more then. Now you have Stanton being Stanton, so it's okay. You can afford for that to happen a little bit more, so it's fine. It doesn't really, it doesn't hurt you as much. You're not really longing for a Paul Goldschmidt hot streak as much because you have Stanton just absolutely shitting on the baseball.
Yeah,
like it's okay. You know, it's totally.
But also, I mean, would like to see a little bit more power from Ryan McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been bad, but like, definitely, again, it's not like he's playing much worse than what he's played in his career. Ryan McMahon has never been a guy that's been like some elite hitter. He'll obviously hit some bombs, and that's kind of where his offense comes from, but haven't really seen that yet with the Yankees. And with that short porch, you would really hope that he just kind of luck into a couple more home runs than he has, but obviously if you're relying on the short porch to hit your home runs, then maybe that's not something that I'd consider an X factor, but definitely would like to see some more power from him going forward in terms of home run power, because he can do it. He has the power, that's for sure.
Now, I think we're done talking about the Yankees for now, are we? Or unless you have something else to say.
That's good. That's good for now. I'm good with that.
So next up, we have the Boston Red Sox, and I have a really weird pick here. I don't know if you want to go first. Yeah. I might have to explain my pick a little bit. My pick.
Oh yeah, you go first.
My pick is Alex Cora's brain. And the reason that I say that is, why are we still playing Rafaela at second base? Why are we still playing him at second? I don't know what's I don't know why. Yesterday they played him at second base. I don't understand what the reasoning is. You know, granted, the night before they played him in center, but I genuinely don't understand why he's not in the outfield literally every single night. I remember when they first moved him over to, I think he's actually playing the outfield a lot more lately, which is good. But he should not be playing second base at all. And I say that because he is one of the best defensive outfielders in the league. You put him at center, a premium position. You know, roughly league average hitter, maybe slightly above, slightly below. Regardless, that is ridiculous value, right?
Yeah.
That can afford for you to put whoever else at second or wherever. But overall, that value that you would get would be so much more important in center. I'm glad they've put him back at center more lately, but they've been putting him at second a little bit more. Like the innings is like drastically different. We need to not go through one of the stretches where we're just playing him at second base. We need to not do that, because I genuinely don't understand what the thought process was when they did that. It really just made no sense whatsoever. If I'm gonna give an actual player one though, you know who my player is? It's Trevor Story, man.
Okay,
it's Trevor Story. Now, I remember when they signed him, and I was like, man, that's a damn good signing for them. And then he got injured, and then he hasn't really been too great. Would you believe that he's like had his like he's having his best season since 2019? Would you believe that off the top of your head?
The only reason I'm gonna say yes is because I've been following him, but if I had not, I wouldn't have said that.
He currently has a 2.6 F4 right now. That is the highest it's been since 2019 when he had a 6 WAR. From 2019 to 2024, this highest has been 2.5. Now, albeit he did that in only 94 games in 2022, so obviously that season on like a rate basis is better. But he's actually been like solid for them this season. I remember at the start of the year, he started off really bad too. He was another one of those guys who was really bad. He had a first half WRC plus of 93. Second half, it's been 111. He's been hitting for a little bit more power. He's been walking a little bit more. Strikeouts have been down a little bit. He's overall been performing a little bit better. And so that has obviously has been a boost to their lineup because you're getting another above average bat in there. We also know, of course, how good. Excuse me, I am stuttering completely over my words. He's also not a bad base runner as well. He's in the 81st percentile in sprint speed. So if you're someone like that is getting on base more, which his on base has been higher in the second half. I already forgot what the differential in points was. It's like 20 points higher. You are now giving yourself more dynamic base running. Yeah, this is another thing I was talking about when I was talking about we need to not go through another one of the stretches of putting Rafaela in second. Is you can have a bat like this at second base instead of putting Rafaela and a 90 WRC plus, 95 WRC plus bat at second, where that now loses value. If he's in center,
and honestly, that brings me to my player too. My X factor for them is Jarren Duran. And first of all, he has been struggling defensively this year. Last year, he was elite defensively. He was in the 95th percentile, notes above average at 10. This year, he's in the 20th percentile at -3.
It was one of
the
things,
definitely struggling defensively.
It was one of the things last year that like got him. What did he finish, like 5th in MVP voting in the AL? I think something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And it's weird because some of the things that you want to be up are up. He's whiffing less. He is not chasing as much. He is hitting the ball harder. His bat speed is even up. I mean, it seems like everything is where you want it to be. The things that you want to get better are better. The things that are a bit down are obviously his, he's striking out more. He's not walking as much. But, I mean, he's still... He's not really hitting for contact like he was last year.
Mm-mm.
And his average has plummeted down 30 points from last year, while his slugging is also down by about 50 points, and his on base also is down. Everything, the actual stats are down. I do think he's getting a bit unlucky. I don't think that he's a bad player by any means, but the stats definitely should reflect him a bit better. And one more thing is that I will say he has improved. Somebody was heckling him this year, and he called him a pussy. That is improvement. He didn't say a slur this
He did
time.
it, yeah. He did not call someone a homophobic slur. Shout out to him. Man,
So that's progress. Shout out. I mean, we're getting better. Hopefully next year...
The mental's improving.
Hopefully next year he maybe just doesn't say anything, or he just says, like, calm down, man. It's okay. It's just baseball, Maybe just give him a little that. Don't need to call him anything, but that's an improvement. I mean, his slurs per 9 are going down. His, that's a good stat, obviously. You want that to go down.
Yeah, you want the slurs per 9 to be as low as possible. Obviously, last year it wasn't too great. Obviously, got in the suspension for a couple games, but this year, obviously, you're seeing a little bit less of that. What I'm seeing when I'm looking at when I look at his profile, I'm seeing these are a few things I'm seeing, right? Obviously, when you look at his overall batted ball distribution, in theory, it looks a lot better because he's hitting more balls in the air. He's hitting a lot more fly balls, less ground balls. It looks good. But where I think it kind of falls off a little bit is like his chase percentage is up, right? He also seems to be swinging a lot less at meatballs, which he's swinging less, but he's chasing more, which means that he is making... he's swinging less at pitches he should be swinging at. So, literally, it's like you said, his swing decisions are just a lot worse this year. That's ultimately what I think it boils down to. He's pulling the ball
way more, too. Like, that's another thing. His pull rate went from 29.9 to 34.9. So, definitely an improvement there, but it's just not showing. It's just not showing in his stats. But
he's
definitely that's a guy that's gonna need to turn it around.
Yeah, he's also like last year he crushed sinkers. He hit almost 400 against sinkers last year. He had a slugging percentage of 548, WOBA 449. He had a hard hit rate of 50% on sinkers last year. This year, against sinkers, he is hitting just 232, has a hard hit rate of 43.5. He's whiffing a lot more against sinkers, 19.6% whiff rate. Last year was 12.1. Not too great. I can't lie. Sliders also, he was like okay against them last year. He wasn't like great, but that's another pitch that he's also just been not quite as good on. He's been able to, he hasn't been able to hit quite as much for power against sliders this year. His slugging percentage is down about 30 points. Not that he was particularly spectacular against them last year. Also changeups. He was also crushing changeup last year. He had a 552 slugging percentage against changeup last year. This year is 339. Like, he just isn't. He's still hitting fastballs, which is good, like split fingers and all that. But he's not hitting. He's not hitting sinkers. He's not hitting sliders. He's not hitting changeups. These were a lot of pitches and curveballs. These are all pitches that he was hitting a lot better last year, and now this season he's just not hitting them. It's yeah, and I think a lot of that goes back to his poor swing decisions. He's swinging a lot less at meatballs, but he's chasing more, and so that is not a good, that's not a good combination overall. You want to swing more at pitches in the zone. You want to swing more at meatballs, and you want to chase pitches less outside of the zone. That is what you want to do, and he's not really doing either one of those things. I wonder if the defense is like a mental thing. Like, seriously, I wonder if it is. I wonder if he's like in his own head or something. Because like I can't fathom as to why he would not as to why, as to like how some of these things would be happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's kind of puzzling, man. It's kind of puzzling. All right. We're going to go next on to the Seattle Mariners. I'll let you take this one first. I've started the last few, so I'll let you take this one.
Seattle Mariners. So that's a team that's definitely, like we said, are flip-flopping with the Astros for first there.
That roster is disgusting, by the way. I would be terrified of them in the playoff series.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to say it's got to be Suarez.
Got to be Gino, yeah. Because he started off so bad. He started off so bad with them. That was going to be my pick as well, would be Suarez. Because he started off so awful with them. He just could not get it going. But,
yeah,
on the other hand, over the last little bit, past a week or two, he's starting to get it together a little bit more. So, hopefully you're seeing a lot more, if you're the Mariners, you're seeing a lot more pulling the ball a bunch in the air. It's going over the fence, and a lot more of that instead of he's whiffing, striking out, he's this and that, right? So that's what you're really hoping to see if you're the Mariners, because that was what they needed. Deadline, they need corner infield, and they got both of those. They got some of the best corner infielders on the market, and what happened is one of them was really good and then one of them was really bad, and Suarez was debatably the best position player on the market. If you go and you get someone of that caliber and he's not producing, that is such a loss of potential production that you are having, right? That acquisition had the potential to completely make them almost, I don't know if I want to say juggernaut of a lineup, but an absolute force, because you had Naylor, who they got before. Obviously, you trust that like Julio is able to get it going at any moment. You had Kyle Raleigh, and then you add Suarez on top of that. Plus, they had other guys like J.P. Crawford. Polanco hasn't been bad this season. Suarez on top of that, assuming like he's producing how you would expect him to in Arizona. Beautiful, right? But if it's how he's producing, he's not really hitting, the balls aren't really going over the fence and whatnot.
Nah.
It hasn't been as great. Now, granted, that was the first, he got out to a bad start with the Mariners. Over the past couple weeks, he's actually just been like Suarez. He's just been exactly what you'd expect. Since August 15th until now, he has a 188 WRC+. He has an OPS of 1045. He has hit 5 home runs in his past 12 games. I think he's really starting to get it going. Well, he's kind of had it going for the past few weeks. But I think that, we just had to settle in a little bit, or maybe it was just a little slump that he just got into, whatever it was. This is someone where if he's on a heater like this, players like this obviously power hitters when they're on heaters are ridiculous, right? It's so much
Yeah.
more impactful than like when a singles hitter is on a heater, because like you can hit 350 and you're spraying the ball left center right whatever, but it's singles, right? If you're a power hitter and you're on a heater and it feels like every single ball you're hitting is just going out of the yard, you have the potential to almost, assuming like other players are doing their job, you can legitimately make a lineup unstoppable if you have something like this in your lineup, on top of a Kyle Raleigh, on top of a Josh Naylor, on top of a hot streak Julio Rodriguez, who also has been really getting it going lately. I was debating if I wanted to have Julio as my X Factor for the Mariners, but I kind of said no, because regardless of if he's hitting or not, you're going to get good value out of him. So I was like, I don't really think that's the one. But I want to talk about Julio, actually, just because. I want you to guess what his August WRC plus is right now. I want you to guess.
Hasn't he been like hitting the ball much better?
Oh yeah, he has. He's been so good in August. I want you to
get. You said August. Yeah.
August.
I'm gonna guess it's gonna be something crazy. I'd imagine, like not like something that's like absurd. I'm gonna say like 223.
Okay, something. It hasn't been that crazy. It's 161. Overall, in the second half, he has a 149 WRC plus. He's hitting almost 300. For power, he is doing everything right now. He has really been getting it going in the second half, which obviously, when you factor in the fact that he's an elite,
I overshot that a little.
An elite base runner and an elite defensive center fielder, that's like potential to be like one of the best players in the whole league. Like, he's actually just been ridiculous. He might finish the season with a 5 WAR. I almost debated putting him, but I think even if he goes into like an offensive slump, you're still getting value from him other places.
Whereas Duran this year, you're not getting the defense you got from last year, so you kind of need him to.
And if Suarez is in a slump, he's not really providing quite as much as like a Julio would in a slump, right? Yeah, man, that's another guy who's really been getting going for them. Shout out to those guys. All right, if you want, we can talk about some of the teams on the outside looking in on the AL. I don't think we would go further than like the Royals and the Rangers. I think those really would be the ones to talk about, unless you want to just go on to the NL.
I mean, we could just kind of go quickly. Like, we don't have to go super in depth for those teams. Just kind of like who we think. So
sure.
For the Royals, first of all, I mean, I feel like it's got to be Bobby Witt Jr. just because you look at his stats from last year compared to this year. This year, he's obviously having a very good year, but last year he was a guy who was a 30-30 hitter with 169 WRC plus. This year, that's 40 points lower at 129. His WAR is almost cut in half, which obviously there's still a month left for time to change, but definitely not as good of a year. So if he can kind of get anywhere closer through this last stretch of the season, which obviously he already has been better with. His second half stats are better than his first half stats, but just kind of get a bit closer, just kind of continue doing what makes Bobby Witt Jr., and just kind of do a little bit of everything. Yeah, I think that can help the Royals really put themselves in position to take that final wild card spot.
My pick for them is going to be Seth Lugo. For the deadline, obviously, he was one of the most coveted potential trade candidates because he was one of the best starters on the market. It was like him, Merrill Kelly, and a few other guys, but it was a thin market. He was one of the top ones. He obviously got extended, so we stayed with the Royals. He has been really bad in August. He was like, he's like the way he was pitching in the first half. It's like you're gonna be on Cy Young ballots, maybe like a mid ballot, guy, right? Given who else is in the AL.
Yeah.
In the second half, so his first half ERA was 2.67, right? That's elite. That's wonderful. That's like number one stuff. In the second half, his ERA is 7.24. In August alone, it's 8.87. He has been bad for them, man. This is like, if they made a wild card spot, he's the guy who, in a wild card or a division series, he's starting your game one. You know what I mean? He's your
playoff start tomorrow. Is he starting in a 3-game series for you?
I think you would almost have to like it's.
I feel like you can't just not put him on,
that's
but it's
the
like
thing. But
you'd have a very short leash.
Exactly, yeah, because it's one of those things where it's like I'm watching you. You know what I mean? It's like you got James Dokes in the dugout and he's doing the, I'm watching you and I'm watching you type shit. You know what I mean? Because like he's been walking guys a lot more. He's also been everything has been going wrong for him in August, and he wasn't a guy that had like great peripherals anyways. It's like strikeout, walks, home runs. All of this could be better, right? But let's go second half, right? His strikeouts are down. He was never a big strikeout pitcher, so whatever, right? One of his things that he didn't walk that many guys. He had a 2.76 walks per nine in the first half. In the second half, it's almost 4.5, 4.37 or 3.9, excuse me. Not good. And you know what else happened in the second half? He was getting hammered. And listen, I wish I meant hammered as in he was drinking too much. No, he was getting hammered as in they were mashing the ball off of him. He allowed over 2.5 home runs per nine in the second half, 2.63. That is nearly double what it was in the first half, right? And that, it allowed almost every start. It felt like he was giving up like 6-7 runs. He was getting pulled in like the fourth inning. Like, this is a guy who, if he really just locks in, he's pitching right now, and he hasn't allowed a run through an inning over against the Tigers. But if this is a guy who, if he just locks in down the stretch, that is such an insane boost. Because not even just an insane boost, he just needs to perform what you expect him to perform. Even if he's slightly below, he has like a 3.5 ERA. That's fine. I don't need you to be Pedro Martinez. I need you to be like good though. I can't have you be a non-major league pitcher because that's what he was in August. He was not a major league caliber pitcher. He was awful.
Right.
Like, and that's no disrespect. He would probably agree with me and say, yeah, I was not pitching well in August, man. Like, everything was going out.
These players know more than anybody else when they're struggling. Mm-hmm. They know.
Yeah, like guys were hitting almost 300 against him in August, like, or in the second half. Well, both actually. It was bad. It's bad. That's someone who really, really does need to get it going. So hopefully for his sake and the Royals' sake, he can get it going. I think that's like the big one for them that really sticks out to me.
Yeah.
Maybe helps that I have him in fantasy, and every single time he would pitch, I would see negative like 10, negative 15. I'd be like, what's going on? What are you doing? Why are you minus 10? Like, I have a big matchup right here. Why are you bottling the bag right now?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And quickly for the Rangers, my guy will be Marcus Semien. Yeah. Not looking like himself. Second half WRC plus of 65, which compared to his first half of 95, which again is still just not good enough for him, especially how much they're paying him and what they brought him in to do.
Yeah, because he had a
OPS well under 700 in the second half, and I say 700 is the benchmark because even in the first half he was hitting under. In June, it really looked like he was picking it up. He was walking about the same, but he was just striking out so much less than any other month in the season. 156 WRC plus, 225 ISO, 932 OPS. He was really looking like himself, even like, the best version of himself, but unfortunately couldn't get any of that to really stick, and now his stats are reflecting it.
Yeah, because he started off so bad too, and then June it looked like he finally got it going. And Marcus Semien's not one who's been like a stranger to cold starts. You remember that year he almost he set the record for home runs in a season by a second baseman. You remember how bad he was in April that year in 2021? You remember?
Yeah.
He was awful in April, and then he was just, from that point onward, he was like one of the best hitters in baseball. And it was like, when you think about it, it doesn't make any sense. But it is what it is. But yeah, if he can be like the Marcus Semien you're paying him to be, that can be the difference between whether or not you actually make a wild card spot and whether you are on the outside looking in 3, 4, 5 games out. All right. Yeah. So I think that's all we have for the AL. We're going to go over to the NL now. We're going to go to the top record holder in the NL, top record holder in baseball. That is the Milwaukee Brewers. My pick is Satan. If he decides to stop blessing the Brewers with his magic, that could be the difference between that. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. The Brewers are such a weird one because they're like the ultimate power of friendship. You know what I mean? This is the power of friendship, the team. So it's really hard to go out and pick one specific guy, right? They have a lot of pitchers are stepping up. So many of their position players are hitting. I think we were talking about like last week, the week before. They have like 10 players that they're running out normally that have an above average WRC plus, and it's like it's such a weird thing. But my one of my picks, or my pick that I'm going for, it's a young guy. He was the top pitching prospect in baseball when he came up. It's Jacob Misiorowski, because you know what, I still stand by it. Well, not that this is really a hot take, but this guy is fucking filthy, right? You remember how people were mauling over the fact that he had a 97 mile, or maybe not mauling is the right word, but absolutely losing their shit over his like 97, 98 mile an hour slider. You remember that? And how just absolutely disgusting he was when he came up. You actually, if you just took into account, you actually wouldn't know he has like an ERA of almost 4.5. Now, with that being said, I think that this is a guy who, now granted, I kind of said this earlier when we were talking about like the prospects and the promotions of all that a lot of people are seeing. Just because he has a 4.5 ERA right now doesn't mean it's bad. Like, no, not everyone has to hit the ground running, and even then, for the first little bit, he kind of did hit the ground running. Just eventually, guys hit cold stretches. It is what it is, right? He is really having trouble finding the zone. He is in the 9th percentile in walk rate. He's also not really inducing a lot of ground balls. I think either one of those, if he can get better at one of those things, if you can just find the zone a little bit more, or they just don't hit as many fly balls against him, then I think it could really help. They actually pull the ball a decent amount in the air against him. They pull the ball a decent amount in the air against him. 21.3% pull air percentage, which isn't too great, but obviously if you're getting strikeouts enough, this is a guy, he has an expected ERA of 2.76. Like, even if he just kept pitching how he is, I'm sure he'd be fine. Like, his ERA versus his whip, there's quite a big discrepancy on what you'd expect. Usually a 110 whip does not warrant a 4.33 ERA. Especially considering, like, they don't barrel the ball a whole lot against him. It's honestly just control. Like, if he can just find the zone a little bit more, if he can even get to the 15th percentile in walk rate, I think that actually makes a big difference. Imagine, like, just that punch in the rotation. Like, I would probably shit my pants if I saw the Brewers in the playoff series and I saw the rotation I had to go up against. Like, Misiorowski would be like a Game 3 starter. That's, like, disgusting. That's crazy to think about.
It is. I'm gonna go, like, I don't love just taking the guy who's supposed to be the best player, but a lot of these cases it makes sense. Christian Yelich. I'm the only reason I'm saying Yelich is just because he has been good this year, no doubt. But in August, he has been unbelievable. So far in August, he has a 171 WRC plus, and I say so far because the month's almost over, but still a couple games. 171 WRC plus, on base of 421. This is unbelievable, and obviously, again, not sustainable, but if he can just keep up what he's been doing throughout the year and just be a steady, good bat, not even the MVP level bat, but obviously the Brewers would not complain if that's what they get. Just continue doing what you're doing, and I mean, I don't know. I think definitely is one of the more important parts of this team, because if he's going, then that kind of gets everyone going, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's good to see Yelich, be healthy and actually be able to play at this level again. Mm-hmm. It's great to see.
I feel like he's been kind of a guy who hasn't like fully gotten like the credit he's deserved, because like obviously he had those MVP like caliber seasons. Even he probably should have won that second year where he was ridiculous. Probably should have won that too. And then obviously he was really bad in 2020, and there were some people who were concerned.
Last year he was really, really good. Just obviously in a
the volume that was the problem. He had a 910 OPS last year. I feel like because of the fact that he had that stretch where everyone was like, "Holy fuck!" Like Christian Yelich is wash and this and that and whatever, right? I feel like people like now that he's just been like good. Like he has a 120 WRC plus in the season. Obviously, he's had a ridiculous
127.
127. Excuse me. That ridiculous month of August, like you said. I feel like because he went through that stretch where everyone was like so underwhelmed by his production and where they expected him to be.
So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna change it.
Really
I'm not gonna say Christian Yelich. I'm gonna say his health. I'm gonna say his health is the X factor.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
His health in particular, because when he plays, he's great. So we're just gonna say his availability. If the X factor of that team, if Christian Yelich can just stay healthy.
Christian Yelich's bones, his muscles,
his DNA,
his ability to drink milk and get his calcium in and strengthen his bones. That's the X factor. If he has a nice glass of milk when he gets home every night, they got it. If not, yeah, it might be done for.
Yeah, gotta drink that milk, gotta eat your vegetables, whatever it is.
Hell yeah.
Whatever.
You grow big and strong, you know how it be. We're gonna go to the Phillies next. They're tied for the second best record in the NL with the Dodgers. They are just a little bit above the Mets. That gap's closed like a little bit. The Mets actually had a series that concluded on Wednesday, and the Mets actually swept the series. And they have another 4-game set in Philadelphia starting on the 8th. So that's going to be a interesting little series there. So interesting to see how that turns out. But regardless, the Phillies. Who you got for the Phillies?
The Phillies. I mean, there's a bunch to choose from. I'm gonna. This is tough, just because they have a lot of guys who have either been good or like probably not performing to the level that you would hope. I want to say a guy like Harper, but I mean he's been great. Nothing to really say about there. I'm gonna go Nick Castellanos because he has just been not what you want.
It hasn't been great.
I mean, when you're not a good defender like him, you would hope the bat can carry you. But when you're a league average bat, that just makes you a below average player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not looking great, right? Things have been grim for Castellanos, right? And here's the thing.
And it's 5-0 Brewers as we record.
Yeah, I have it up I have it up. I'm not really enjoying what I'm seeing right now.
No.
I'm looking right now. Addison Barger, he went into the net. He's like basically sat on a fan. Wish that was me. Anyways, but yeah, like you said, like you'd hope the bat would carry you. Castellanos, he's just not a good defender, and a lot of times he's DHing and this and that or whatever.
That's another thing. When you have Bryce Harper, who hasn't been able to really stay healthy, and you're kind of putting him in a first base role, and then you have Schwarber, and then you have other guys that just aren't strong defenders. It's kind of hard to get a little rhythm going in terms of defense, and it's kind of like a jumble, and then you're going to have a guy who's not a strong defender out there at all times. It's just, it's unfortunate, but if you're not fielding, you got to be hitting, and Schwarber is doing exactly that.
Yeah.
Harper's doing exactly that.
This is a guy who you would ideally want to be in the DH slot, because I don't want a minus 13 DRS and a minus 12 OAA patrolling my right field every single day. I don't want that, right? The best defensive year of his career was like, what do you want to say? It's his minus it was like minus 2 DRS and like a third base in like 2015 or something. Like that's the best defensive year of his career. Like this guy's never been a good defender, and because of just the way that their team is constructed, they kind of have to trot him out there, because obviously Harper can't really do it. He had the surgery on his arm. He's just been a first base DH guy ever since. Schwarber as well. And this is a guy who, if you aren't hitting the ball much, you're not really providing value. In fact, you are probably. I'm gonna look at his WAR. I'm gonna assume it's actually below replacement level. Minus 0.7 WAR. That's bad for anyone who wouldn't know. And being a negative is actually bad. Hot take, I know, but yeah, no, he's got to figure something out. Like he's not hitting the ball hard. He's not walking. This is the least he's ever walked, like almost ever. It's bad. He's barreling like a lot less than he was when he was consistently hitting the ball. It's bad. It's bad, man. My pick was going to be Aaron Nola, and he's been, he's had injury things this season, and when he's pitched, it's been kind of ugly, with all due respect. Do you want to guess what his ERA on the season is? You want to guess?
Who's? Sorry?
Aaron Nola.
It's not good. I know that.
Yeah, it's very much not pretty.
Wasn't it in like the 6?
It's in the 6. Yep.
I'm gonna say 667.
You are decently close. It's 647. It's not too great. They are hitting him quite hard. Underneath the hood, a lot of his peripherals are kind of middling or they're bad. Like, he has a below average barrel rate, a below average hard hit rate. His strikeout rate is more or less average. His whiff rate is more or less average. He's getting a lot of guys to chase, actually, which is, like, pretty interesting when you factor it all in. But he's struggled, man. He struggled. They're hitting him hard.
No, it's not what you want.
They're hitting
Numbers are definitely not where you want them to be.
They're hitting him hard right now. They have a he's allowed a 429 expected WOBA on contact. So that just tells you when they're hitting him, or when they hit the ball against him, they're hitting it hard. They're making really good contact. Another thing is they're pulling a lot of fly balls against him. We love pull air percentage around here, 24%. It's the worst of his career. StatCast data only goes back to 2015, but I think that was his first season, actually, was 2015, as far as it goes back anyways, but it's the worst it's been. It's been, like, steadily getting worse over the last couple years, and it's honestly kind of concerning. Even outside of just, like, like, down the stretch thing, it's actually, like, overall a really concerning thing, because, like, I'm actually very concerned on his overall, like, his pitches, like, you know what I mean? Like, his, it's just not looking very, it's not looking great, man. It's not looking great. They're hitting him really hard, and if he is able to have a month where he's just Aaron Nola of old, that would be such a big boost to this rotation, and that could, that's something that would make such a big difference, especially in a big game, especially with Zach Wheeler going down. Not that the rotation is, like, awful, because, like, they have guys like Ranger Suarez and Christopher Sanchez. It's not like they are devoid of good starting pitchers. But an Aaron Nola boost would be massive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Taijuan Walker's been great, too.
Yeah,
I mean, their rotation's been good all year, for sure. So, definitely having Nola kind of back to what, he is, it would be nice. Hopefully, Wheeler is able to... I haven't seen any updates, but hopefully that's not something that's keeping him out for the rest of the year.
I'm pretty sure it's. I'm pretty sure they said like 6 to 8 months on him.
Oh shit!
I think unless there was like an updated thing, because I remember seeing that last time. I'm pretty sure it's like 6 to 8 months. Yeah, he expected to miss 6 to 8 months with the shoulder injury.
Damn. So he's definitely probably hope it's not a career thing.
Like best case scenario, he's back at like the start of spring training. Best case scenario, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like he's done for the season. That's why. Yeah. The Dodgers. I feel like there's one answer that sticks out here like a sore thumb. I have a feeling you know exactly who I'm talking about when I say that. The other thing is, just like if this would even be worth calling an X Factor, because like he just hasn't been good at all this season.
You're cutting a bit in and out.
Oh, I'm cutting a bit in and out. Oh, my apologies.
For me, it might just be for me. I just need one sec. Sorry.
Okay, you got it. Let me know when you hear
should
me
be good,
loud
yeah.
and clear. You good? So yeah, my X Factor for the Dodgers. It's someone who normally
edit that out or whatever.
That's fine. Yeah, I got it. So my X Factor for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah.
It's someone who normally year in, year out is like an MVP candidate, one of the best players in the NL. This year, he has been... Things have been grim, right? Here's the thing.
Mookie Betts.
Yup, it's Mookie Betts. Yeah, things have been grim lately for Mookie Betts, and here's the thing. He has not really given us a lot to look at this year and be like, you know what? Yeah, I expect, a hot streak might just happen pretty soon, right? Because he hasn't been hitting the ball all that hard, hasn't been getting many barrels. It hasn't been great. It just overall hasn't been very good. He's hitting the ball. He isn't hitting the ball nearly as hard. It's bad. It's really bad.
And obviously he missed a bit of the season and kind of didn't really get to start healthy because of the whole illness he had, where he was losing weight and all that. And obviously that could play a role. And this isn't something that I'm going to look at Mookie and say, like, next year he's not going to bounce back. I just think it's just kind of a unfortunate season. You'd want him to do better, but I think at this point of the season, it's kind of like this is just what he is this year.
I do think it's one of those things where it's like ultimately like, he never was really able to get going because he never really had a real start to the season. I do think that is kind of a thing. But it's been such a blow to the Dodgers because this is someone who, what was I saying? It's someone who, like, what everyone would say about that lineup, Betts, Freeman, Ohtani, like that was one of the most ridiculous 1-2-3s in all of baseball. And now it's like you effectively just removed one of those. Like he went from being one of the best overall players in baseball to a below average hitter. Albeit, one thing that's really interesting, obviously they moved him to shortstop this season. And he's been like really good defensively. He has a 15 DRS, which is kind of ridiculous. And he's in like the 88th percentile and outs above average. Which is really weird, considering how not good offensively he's been. So, he's adjusted really well to shortstop, despite not really adjusting well to probably not having a proper start to the season. I don't know, it's really weird, but overall, he just... If he's able to have a month where he's prime Mookie Betts, or even not even just like... I'm not even talking like 2018, 2023, like peak Mookie Betts. I'm not even talking like... If he's like 2016 or... not 2016. If he's like 2017 Mookie Betts for a month, that's so much better than what he's doing right now.
For sure.
The guy's OPS right now starts at the 6.
It's not impossible. It's not impossible for him to kind of get hot. It's just, obviously, it's not something I'd count on or bet on. I remember the series against us, he looked more like himself. He's definitely had a good month, but, I mean, we just need to see him do this for a longer period of time. And again, it's Mookie Betts. This isn't something I'm worried about next year. I genuinely think this is just a one-off year where just things didn't go his way, and that happens. We see that happen all the time with players where they just have an off year.
It happens.
It's part of sports. Everyone's human. You can't just be perfect all the time, and if so, then, it's not practical. So definitely expect Mookie to be where he is next year, but obviously the Dodgers aren't looking towards next year right now. They're looking for now, and
they're looking to repeat.
If Mookie could just continue what he's been doing this month, that's good enough.
Yeah.
This is a Dodgers team that has no shortage of stars, has no shortage of talent. So just have him be above average. Don't need him to be. Obviously, they'd like him to be, but he doesn't need to be, an MVP level player with who they have on their roster and how they've been playing. So
absolutely,
just kind of get a bit of consistency here, and that's all you can hope for.
Yeah, you just got to provide some sort of consistent value because, like you said, if he just continues what he's done in August, he hasn't been earth shattering in August. It's a 111 WRC plus, but that's still good. It's been
good enough.
Those middle summer months that really just like. At the start of the season, it was he was a little bit above average, but it's like, you expect better, so obviously you're like, what the hell's going on? And then the summer months killed him. Like, he had a 74 WRC plus in June, 62 in July, and it's like, what the hell happened? And at some point, I don't know if I talked about it on here, if it was on my friend's podcast or whatever, but he had the quote where he came out, he was like, I've never been this bad for this long.
Yeah.
And like you said,
like, this is even new to him.
Bad stretches, it happens, obviously. Like, going forward after the season, like, I'm sure he'll be fine, but it's something that if he was able to really turn up, that's a big boost for the Dodgers, because that's what you're really expecting out of him. Did you have anyone else you wanted to say for the Dodgers? Because that was my pick.
For the Dodgers, would like to see maybe Teoscar do a bit more. Last year, his WRC plus was 132 compared to 102 this year. Obviously, Teoscar has never been, just a elite, high average contact guy. He's there for his power, and we've been seeing his power, but his average has just kind of slipped below what we were used to seeing. Just kind of would like to see him get on base more.
Mm-hmm.
He's never been a guy who walks at a high rate, but his walk rate is half of what it was last year, and almost half of what it's been throughout his career. On base went from 339 last year to 283 this year, and it's just when you're not walking at a high rate, and then that gets even significantly lower from what it already was when it wasn't great. That's kind of when you see some problems, and you're seeing it now. But he is striking out a bit less than normal, so that is a positive there.
Yeah, shout out to Teoscar, man. That's the guy. I remember he started off red hot in the season. I remember for like a few weeks I'm pretty sure he was the league leader in home runs. Shout out to Teoscar, man. That's the guy. That's the boy right there.
Yeah.
Now we are going to move out of the division leaders in the NL. We are going to go to the team, the top wildcard spot in the NL, the Chicago Cubs.
Is that the Reds now? Oh.
The Reds?
Is it the... Or not the Reds. I was thinking... I don't know why I said you said out of the wild card for some reason.
Out of the wild card. No, the first...
I thought you said we're going to the team that's out of the wild... I don't know why. That's
not what I said. We're going to the top team in the wild... I might have said out of the wild card teams. I don't know. I might have said it weird, but regardless, we're going to the top wild card team in the NL right now, the Chicago Cubs. I'll let you have first pick on this one. I feel like there's a lot of players who you could pick for this, but I'll let you say your piece.
For the Cubs, I'm gonna say Ian Happ.
Ian Happ?
Ian Happ has been consistent for the Cubs. He's always a guy who's WRC plus around 120. He's a guy who hits 20, 25 home runs a year. Definitely has been very good as a Cub. But this year, he's kind of not doing what we're used to seeing from him. Everything's kind of down. His average is down. His on-base is down. His slugging is significantly down. He's just not the same that we've seen. And I don't know. He's just not really getting as good at bats as he was. He's not hitting the ball nearly as hard as he was last year. Everything's kind of seemed to take a step down for him. He's still walking at a very high rate, which is good, but you just got to kind of figure out his, his hard hits, his barrels. You just got to figure out his exit velocity, kind of, and that's what's holding him back right now from being, the Ian Happ that we've seen for a guy who's hovering around 800 OPS. That's just not him this year.
Yeah, hasn't been too great. I was jumping between a few different guys, and ironically, it was some of their big guys. Like, you could have said Kyle Tucker, although the past couple games, it seems like he's starting to get back on track. You could say Michael Busch, because he was first half of the season, he was maybe one of the 5 best hitters in the NL, and he's tapered off quite a bit. But my pick for their X Factor, for a while he was one of the front runners for NL MVP, and in the second half he has just not been it. It's PCA.
Pete Crow Armstrong.
First little bit of the season, you remember how good he was. He was hitting the ball out of the yard. He's obviously one of the best defensive center fielders in the league. One of the best defensive players in the league, excuse me. Plus, he's a good base runner.
Yeah.
In the month of August, it's been dreadful. And I honestly think that might be a little generous to say that it's been dreadful. I don't know if this is his WRC plus or my hourly pay, because it's bad. I'm kidding. I wish I got paid $36 an hour. But He has a 36
But,
WRC plus in the month of August right now. That's bad.
Look, I mean,
really
I
bad.
think anybody will tell you that what he was doing in the first couple months was unsustainable.
To some extent, of course, right?
Yes, like he wasn't going to be a 170 WRC plus bat with that. I mean, he wasn't going to be like a 10-11 WAR player this year. I mean, that just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, because the thing with him is that he chases so much. He's in the second percentile in chase rate.
I cheer for him. I hope he does well, but it's just still, that's the thing though. Even at a 119 WRC plus, if you look at this season as a whole, like that's still an unbelievable season.
Mm-hmm.
He is having one of the better seasons that we've seen from, like, a guy with his defense in recent history, because usually guys who have his defense don't hit for his power.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing.
And
he's definitely got to just find a bit of consistency. Though. That's the thing.
If he improves his swing decisions, he won't be in the future. I think if he is able to improve his swing decisions, he won't. I don't think he's going to be quite as prone to a long slump like this. I'm sure to some extent he'll get it going. I don't think he's going to be a 170 WRC plus bat. I don't ever think that's going to happen. I do think that he was playing a bit over his head to an extent, but I also don't think that he's just bad. I think he can very easily be a 130, 140 WRC plus bat. He's not going to get on base a whole lot, but I do think that there is power there because he hits the ball in the right spots. And when I say that, I mean he pulls the shit out of the baseball. He almost half his batted balls are to the pull side. 28.6% of his batted balls are in the air to the pull side. The problem is the chase rate. That's what it is. Chase rate and walk rate.
Another thing is that when he's on, he is on. But when he's off, it is so noticeable. Like, I remember coming out of the break at some point, he was 0 for his last 30-something. Like, his stretches where he's cold, he's ice cold.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just but again, with a guy like him, you're at least having his speed, his defense. He's always going to be valuable. It's just you want him to at least find some sort of consistency where maybe he's not, hitting obviously consistently at a 160, 170 WRC plus. But with 119 on the year, if he was a consistent 119, like he was doing that around that number every month, that would be much better than if he was just kind of going through those streaks because, again, it's not sustainable, some of these streaks.
Yeah. And, again, he's always going to provide value in base running. He's in the 97th percentile in sprint speed. He is in the 100th percentile in outs above average. 20 outs above average is ridiculous. He's a center fielder who provides absolutely ridiculous value. So even if he's not hitting, it's not like he's completely devoid of value because, of course, like I just said, he literally the only players that have more outs above average than him this year are Bobby Witt Jr. and Mason Wynn. That's it.
Shout out to Mason Wynn, having a very good season.
Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. So it's not like PCA is completely devoid of value, but considering how good he was at hitting the ball in the first half versus now, I do think that you are obviously the Cubs for a while. They were had the best record in the league. Obviously, they've fallen behind the Brewers now, and that's part of it is wise because you are losing a lot of offense that you had in the first half. No, I'm not saying it's just PCA. Like Michael Busch has not been the same hitter. Kyle Tucker hasn't been the same hitter, but someone like PCA, if you have him hitting at a 130 WRC plus rate, 140 even, that is such a valuable player. That alone is a 6-7 WAR player right there. It's crazy. It's crazy how valuable he can be if he just consistently is hitting the ball like that. Fortunately, he's kind of lost it. Hopefully, he can find a little bit in September.
For sure.
All right, man. I forgot. Did you say your pick already, or was that?
Yeah, I said Hap.
Oh yeah, you did. You said Ian Happ. That's right. I forgot. All right, man. The San Diego Padres, man. You know who my pick is? We talked about.
Who is it?
We talked about this guy a lot.
Arias?
No, it's not Arias. He's just. With all due respect, I'm not believing in Arias this year. It's Dylan Cease.
Well, that's fair. It's just because we had that conversation today, so I didn't know if we had
I
the
was gonna say
conversation.
like we've talked about him a lot before on the pod. It's Dylan Cease.
Yeah,
That's the guy.
Cease. I mean, that was a guy that there was a chance he got moved.
There was a chance
there was
he got
a lot
moved.
of talk about that.
That's a guy who I genuinely pitch. We talked about how like we thought PCA to an extent, like to some degree, was playing a bit over his head. I think that Dylan Cease is playing like under his head. I'm coining that term if that's not already a thing. I think he's like playing under his head because like he's striking a lot of guys out. He is walking a decent amount of guys, but it's not like he's getting hit super hard. Like his ERA is high, but I don't expect it to stay high. Like going forward, whether that's next year or I do think that this is a guy who could have a really, really big September, and if he did, it's something that would give the Padres a big, big, big chance to getting that NL crown over, or not NL crown, NL West, well, NL crown too, but the NL West crown over the Dodgers. They're only 2 games back of the Dodgers right now after Dodgers for the longest time led by what felt like 1,000,000 games or something. But yeah, if someone like Dylan Cease is able to really get it going in September, that's something that would give them such a big boost. Like having that 1 starter, 2 starter type of thing, especially over if it's someone who with this kind of production that he's had this season. His overall production hasn't been good. His results haven't been good. He's a 4.82 ERA. That's not good. But under the hood, it's like he's not pitching that bad. He's really not pitching that bad. And if it kind of evens out, if the regression to the mean enjoyers start to eat a little bit better, you might really see some good things here for the Padres. Yeah, what do you got for the San Diego Padres on that front?
I'm going to not go with a singular player. I'm going to go with a position, and I'm just going to say the catching position because only one team in baseball their catchers have a lower WAR than the Padres, and that's the Nationals. The Padres are at negative 0.6.
Yo, how do you let how do you let a team like the Orioles and the White Sox and the Pirates have a better pitching core or not pitching core, catching core than you, man?
The only teams that have lower WRC pluses at their catcher position are Cleveland and the Giants. So, look, their 3 catchers are Freddie Fermin, Elias Diaz, Martin Maldonado, and defensively, Diaz is there. Fermin isn't the best defender, but he's not bad, and Maldonado kind of doesn't do anything well at this point. It's kind of like you kind of need it to figure out. And I mean, Maldonado, I don't think he's even with the team anymore. But I'm saying, like, throughout the entire season, just they haven't had stability at the catcher position. And they just kind of need one of Fermin and Diaz to kind of come out and just hit better. Just hit any better. And it's not like we're asking, it's not like these guys are incredibly offensive. But you kind of need them to be at this point. You need one of them to step up. But, yeah, so...
I remember seeing how bad their catching core was in the first half, and it's like they traded for Freddie Fermin, and it was like, what are you guys doing? It's like you're trying to bolster your catching core by trading for another not good catcher.
Here's something that I'm thinking. This is just a potential blockbuster trade.
Let's hear it.
And this isn't something that's going to happen, maybe not even this year, but a name that if I'm the Padres I'm looking out for, if Ethan Salas, because I personally don't think Ethan Salas is going to be like a star or anything like some people do. I think a name that's interesting you can look out for is Adley Rutschman because he is having a not good year. The Orioles might not want to give him the money he wants.
Not to mention, actually, another thing that kind of makes that interesting as well is they called up that other prospect. I forgot his name. I can't remember his name. And they gave him a big extension too. I remember seeing it the other day. What the fuck is his name? I can't remember. I'm trying to scroll, but my phone is like actually trolling me right now. Regardless, they called up big time catching prospect for it. Basallo, that's his name. Basallo. They called him up too.
Yeah. Oh, the Orioles. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the Padres.
No, yeah, the Orioles. That's
yeah.
Right. They called him up. They gave him an extension.
Yeah, it's just it's looking like a change of scenery might be what both parties need. Adley, I mean, obviously 2 years ago and 3 years ago in his rookie and his sophomore season were unbelievable. When he was looking like he was going to be a top 3 catcher in baseball for the next 10 years. 2024 he was okay. He struggled offensively. His defense kind of carried him to being around a 3 WAR player. But this year, he just hasn't been hitting at all, and it's unfortunate to see. But I definitely think that, and the Padres are a team that like to go with some blockbusters. They're not a team that's afraid
AJ
to make a
Preller
trade
likes
for
to
a
let his
superstar or
nuts
star.
hang.
Exactly. So if you can swing a deal for Adley, and you think that you see something that you can kind of work towards and you can build to kind of get him back to what he was, then you do it, because when he is on, he is one of the best catchers that we've seen in a while. So would definitely be nice to get that stability at the catcher position when it's kind of been a bit of a jumble fuck, for lack of a better term, throughout the past year. So
Oh, fuck.
would definitely like to see them get some stability, and hopefully Adley can be that for them if that's something they pursue. I just thought it was an interesting potential trade to look out for, just because, you know, depending on Salas's his development, who knows what's happening. The Padres are a team that kind of don't want to wait too long to win. I mean, you can see that by them trading their top prospect for a relief pitcher. So they definitely want to win. That's a trade that could kind of expedite, the window. And I mean, with guys like Machado and Bogarts' contracts, we know that they've been trying to get rid of those. It'd be interesting to see if a guy like Adley would be able to kind of help them win before they have to trade them, or before whatever happens.
Or before
it's just,
or before the contracts effectively become like dead money.
Yeah, exactly. I just think that that's something to look out for. But yeah, I think the catchers are probably the most important position that the Padres need going forward, because they have just not been good.
So are you telling me you have sources? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, I do, but not for an Adley trade.
Not for an Adley trade.
I have no source on that. Is coming from me.
Okay.
There are certain things where I might have a little sources. This is not one of them.
Okay, Mr. Sources, man. I see you. Alright, so we are now going to go to the last wildcard team in the National League, the good old Mets. It's all about the Mets, baby. Love the Mets. Go Mets, baby. Love the Mets.
Similar to the American League with the Astros and the Mariners, we're seeing the Mets and the Phillies kind of flip-flop, or at least we did up until the last little bit. We saw like the Mets were like neck and neck, and it was looking close. But right now the Phillies seem to have kind of taken a comfortable lead. Not like a, hey, there's no way they blow it lead, but a lead that's like, okay, we can just kind of play our baseball and not have to focus on how the Mets are doing. We just got to win our games. But I mean, who would you say their X factor is?
Oh my god, it's Ryan Helsley. He's been so bad since they traded for him. His ERA, I don't know if it's his ERA or his phone number. What's going on with him, man? He can't keep the ball in the zone. He's walking over 7 batters per 9. He's been so bad since they traded for him. And their other bullpen acquisitions, Gregory Soto, Tyler Rogers, have been insane. They have both of ERAs under 2. Edwin Diaz has been really good in the past month. Or I'm sorry, when I'm saying these ERA numbers, I mean specifically in August. I should have said that before. But Ryan Helsley's ERA in August, it's over 10. It's over 10. It's 10.38.
Yeah, the bullpen just hasn't been as good as they would like, especially coming out of the deadline.
Their bullpen.
I'm going to agree with Helsley.
Their bullpen ERA is in the month of August is 19th in the league. But the thing is, when you look at how everyone in their bullpen is pitching, it's overall a lot of that bullpen ERA I think is severely inflated by a certain select few guys who just cannot pitch right now. Ryan Stanek is another guy for them who's been just so bad in the month of August. He's walking over 9. I want you to I'm gonna let you guess Ryan Stanek's walks per nine in the month of August. I'm gonna let you guess.
Oh God, it's gonna be something stupid.
I'm gonna let you guess what
it's
it
gonna
is.
be like I'm gonna guess 6.2.
Oh, it's a lot higher.
Oh, was that?
It's a lot higher.
Oh, is it? Well, what has it been on the season?
On the
Actually, I don't know
season,
that.
let
Off
me
the
let
top of
me
my
let me
head.
see what it's been on the season. I only have the August splits pulled up, but let me see. On the season, it's 520.
Okay, so for August, it's gonna probably be like fucking 850 or something or 9.
It's higher.
There's just no. I don't like.
It's
I'm sorry.
982.
All right, so yeah. Let's just see something right here. So I'm just going to his Savant page quickly. I just need to see something. So
It's 982.
obviously he throws a sweeper, a slider, a splitter, a sinker, four seam. He should implement a new pitch called a strike.
Yeah, man. Listen, and he's not the only one. Like I said, Helsley, like the same thing. Reed Garrett for the. Well, actually, no. Those are really the only two who are like walking a million guys. Frankie Montas been pitching out of the pen. He's had 2 games out of the pen for them in August, and he also is like walking guys, albeit only 5 innings. But yeah, you're right. A new pitch called a strike might work really well for Ryan Helsley. Or not Ryan Helsley, Ryan Stanton. Well, fucking both of them, honestly, because they've been
They
so
could both
bad.
use some strikes.
They've been so bad. They need to.
Well, actually, I think the problem with Helsley is he's throwing too many. So he's throwing too many strikes down the middle.
Well, here's okay.
That might be the issue.
Well, here's the thing: is it's either down the middle or it's
not to say Helsley's not walking guys, but his problem is also the fact that he's just getting.
I
crushed.
think he needs to learn something called a good pitch. I think that's what he needs to learn. I think he needs to remember. Hey, I think someone needs to remind him of the objective is that you're trying to get them out and not reach base and allow 1,000 runs across the plate. Because and like the thing is, like, I think overall in walks per nine they're like in the bottom 10 in August because it's literally just like a select few pitchers in their bullpen who just cannot pitch right now. Reed Garrett's been getting shelled. Like, they're mashing him. He's not even walking guys. He's actually striking a good amount of guys out, not walking too many guys. He's just been getting mashed, and honestly, I think that's just, has more to do with reliever variance than anything. And, like, how volatile relievers can be. But, oh my god, Helsley and Stanek have been so bad. I'm going Helsley more so because you expect a lot more out of him, and he has, obviously a lot more of a ceiling. When they got him, it was like a big acquisition, right? Obviously, to some extent, you might have said, okay, maybe it's a little bit of an overpay, but it's like obviously it's still a big acquisition when they got him. But he just literally he's been bad. He's been awful for them. Like, there's really no way around it. He's been really bad, and they need, especially because I remember when at the deadline when the Mets made all their big acquisitions, they were tweeting out Gregory Soto, Tyler Rogers, Edwin Diaz, Ryan Helsley. That's a crazy back end of the bullpen. Obviously, that the top 3 back end of the bullpen is still good: Rogers, Soto, Diaz. But imagine how much better it is now if you add Helsley into that mix and you say, "Hey, Ryan Helsley, how about
be yourself, man? Just do what you did in St. Louis, please."
How about you good pitch? How about you pitch good? You wouldn't do that? And he's like,
that would help. Honestly.
Oh, I get it now.
Oh, I understand it now.
Yeah, no, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's my X factor for the Mets because it's been grim. It's been
I think that's a good one.
I think it's been quite grim for them lately. So that's what I'm gonna say for them. On the position player side, I don't really think there's too many that like stick out to me. Like, they've had a lot of guys who've been really good recently. Maybe if you want to say like Brett Beatty, if he keeps up his hot streak or something, but that's who I would go. I'd go Ryan Helsley. I don't know if you have anything different or if you want to.
That's who I was thinking. No, I mean, that's the guy that I was thinking. I mean, they need him to kind of not be, serving up free wins.
Yeah, we need not blown saves. Like, you just can't be trotting him out there.
Yeah.
And just like, if I'm having a heart attack before the pitcher steps on the mound, that's a problem. I can only imagine how Nick's feeling watching him pitch and watching him just be abysmal. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
It's probably not too great. All right, we're gonna do this. Probably will be our last team that we'll go over. We're gonna go. This is a team. They're 4 games out of wild card spot right now in the NL.
Now it's the Reds.
Now we're going to the Reds. Now we're going to the first team out of the wild card, the Cincinnati Reds. I'll let you take your first pick since I started the last few. What do you got?
I mean, I just think it's got to be Ellie. Like, again, I don't want to be taking the star guy, but, like, I mean, he's just got to be a bit better. I mean, he's definitely... I'm not saying he's having a bad year again. That's not what I'm saying, but it's just... When you're looking at a team like this, you need your superstar to be a superstar. You need him to kind of take control and be the far and away best player on this team. And I just don't know if you can say he has been this year. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he has his speed and base running, but his defense, I mean, that is really took a awful hit. I mean, he went from being 98th percentile outs above average to being in the 18th percentile. His DRS went from -2, which obviously not great, to -5. He's getting worse at every defensive metric. And on top of that, his offense, he's not getting the same exit velocities. His bat speed is down. I don't know what it is, but he's just not the same player he was last year, despite some of the stats showing that he might be, or even better in some. His peripherals do not look like that. They do not, his stats don't tell the full story. I think that he just needs to kind of do whatever he was doing last year, both offensively and defensively, and kind of continue that. His approach was better last year. This year we're just not really seeing the same, I guess for lack of a better term, electricity from his offense. We're not seeing him be that electric guy that he was. Not to say he hasn't been great, but again, 67 stolen base to 32. That right there is a big jump. His slugging's down, his on base is up, but he's just not hitting the ball as well. So would like to see his batted ball stats definitely improve, whether it's throughout the last bit of the season or work on it in the off season and get back to where it was for next year. Kind of like what we were saying about Mookie, but he's just got to be better. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think that honestly might be the answer for the Reds, because like if you're like a top team in the league, you can afford for your best player to maybe go through a bit of a slump because obviously the rest of your team's good enough, but other guys and stuff, right? This is a team where
the Dodgers are able to have Mookie kind of tail off, but
exactly,
and a team like the Reds can't have Ellie tail off.
Exactly, I think like they can't afford it quite as much because they don't quite have the talent around Ellie to pick him up in a slump like this. I'm not saying it's a bad team, but they're not like any of the other top teams in the NL.
I mean,
I think they
have 3 qualified players with a WRC plus of 100 or more, and the other ones are TJ Friedl and Gavin Lux. So
that's
definitely, there's a bunch of guys who need to be better, but I think that it's more fair to say that the guy who's supposed to be a superstar needs to play better rather than the guys who are replacement level players.
But speaking of TJ Friedl, that was my pick. TJ Friedl, he had a ridiculous start to the season. Through May, he was one of the best hitters in baseball. Even in June and July, he was like a little bit of an above average hitter. And that was, overall, he was providing a lot more value than anyone would have expected. And in August, he has tapered the hell off. His WRC plus went down 71 WRC plus in August, 606 OPS. All of those numbers are down so drastically. So September, it is a big question. Are you going to get the first however many months of the season TJ Friedl, or are you going to get more August TJ Friedl? If you have August TJ Friedl, that is now a big hole in your lineup that previously was a big strength and a guy that, I don't really want to face too much if I'm a pitcher. I'd much rather face this guy or this guy. But now, in the month of August, that's almost like black hole numbers. So
there was a point of the season where I think you'd rather face Ellie than TJ Friedl.
Honestly, yeah, because TJ Friedl was mashing at one point. He was killing. He was ridiculous, man. It was crazy. And like he does a lot of things well. He pulls the ball a lot in the air. The only thing is maybe you cut the ground ball rate down a little bit, maybe, but it just hasn't been quite quite as pretty in the month of August. He's hitting a lot more ground balls. The fly balls, he's hitting a lot less. So that's kind of a big part of it. He's not hitting the ball quite as hard. A lot more soft contact. It hasn't been as pretty, less walks, more strikeouts. His strikeout rate has doubled from July to August. It's more than doubled. It's not looking great, man. It's not good. It's not looking too great
definitely not. So if you get those numbers up, I mean, the Reds are still very much in the playoff race. They're not out of it. So.
They're only 4 games out. And with that being said, they have a tough schedule coming up. They have Toronto. They have the Jays. They have the Mets. They have the Padres. They have the Cubs. They have the Brewers. Those are 5, I think, if I count it right, 5
They have their work
series.
Cut out for them, that's for sure.
Yeah, they have like a series against the Pirates and the Cardinals and the A's, whatever. But they have some tough series coming up, too. They're right now in a series.
And that's the thing. Like they're facing the Padres and the Cubs, who are also fighting for their playoff lives.
Yeah, and like they're currently in extras right now because the Cardinals are down 6-5 in the top of the 10th. They're the home team, but it's tough right now. Like you're not going to have an easy extended stretch where you're facing bad teams for a week, 2 weeks, right? You are facing teams that are trying to either, like you said, fight for their playoff lives, or they're trying to clinch something high, right? They're trying to clinch a top spot in the league or whatever. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
And if you have anyone who isn't performing up to the level that you expect them to, you're going to have a much harder time actually trying to climb back into the playoffs. And for the Reds, I can't say it looks too pretty for them right now. I can't lie. I can't say it does. Is that all? Yeah. Is that all we have on teams and X factors and all that?
I think so. I mean, I don't really think we need to go down the list of some teams who are like 10 games out.
Yeah, no, we don't need to go any further.
I think we took care of that aspect of the show.
Yeah, I do. I think we got all that. Unless there's anything else that you feel the need to talk about, that you wanna chat about.
No, I think that's good.
That's good. All right then. Well,
I think we took care of it.
As always, thank you everyone for listening. Whether you listened all the way 2 and however many minutes in. 2 hours and however many minutes in, or if you listen for just a couple minutes, or if you skip forward, regardless, shout out to you. Thank you for clicking on the YouTube link, the Spotify link, Substack link, whatever the hell, however you're listening to it. Your email, your Substack, your Instagram stories, you're seeing it, your Twitter post, I don't know how you're seeing it, however you're seeing it, thank you for peeping. Thank you for sticking with us through. It means everything. We will see you guys again in a week. And yeah, take care, everyone.